Hello students, today we're going to start the first chapter, Deterministic Cash Flow Stream. This is the financial belonging to the financial economics as per CBCS syllabus of semester 4. So what is deterministic cash flow? Normally, an investment is defined in terms of a cash flow stream or sequence generated out of that investment during any particular time period. So, if is the cash flow of returns or cash to an investment undertaken by any investor, such cash flows usually occur at some definite intervals, and these flows include both positive and negative cash flows. Now, for to undertake a huge investment project, one needs to take loan from an industrial bank or a commercial bank or otherwise or some other types of banking institutions. Now, an investment project always involves positive and negative cash flows. Now, what is deterministic cash flow? Now, if this cash flows occurs with no uncertainty, that it has surety that in each period there will occur cash flow or otherwise cash inflow, that is positive cash flow or negative cash flow, then it is called deterministic cash flow. That the flow of the cash can be determined in terms of probabilistic terms. So this is deterministic cash flow. There is no uncertainty. That means that we are quite sure that there will be positive and negative cash flows otherwise. Now when an investment generates future income stream, then there is a question of determining the present value of the future income stream. Now, after investment, it generally generates future income stream. When an investment generates future income stream, then there is always question determining the present value. Now, what would be the future value of that future income stream? Now, to determine the present value of the future income stream, interest rate on investment is generally used to determine the present value of the future cash flow. Hence, interest rate is often known as the time value of money. Now, during investment, one has to pay interest. Now, this interest rate is generally used to calculate to find out the present value of the future cash flow. That is, when we take loan, suppose to undertake a huge investment project, the investor needs to take loan from bank. For taking the loan, he has to pay some interest. Now, what is interest rate? The return or the payment to the capital used is known as interest. That is, if we use a capital, then there is some cost which has to be returned to the owner of the capital from which an investor is lending it. Now, time value of money. Now, the interest rate is always calculated on the basis of time rate. Now, what is time value of money? In simple terms, the time value of money means the difference in value of money when it is received at different point in time. Suppose an investor, during its period of investment, he receives in first period, he receives 1,000 rupee. In second period, he might receive 2,000 rupee and so on. Now, this difference between the value of money in respect of second year and between second year, so second period and first period is known as time value of money. Normally, this value of certain amount of money is more if it is received today rather than at some future date. Now, what are the reasons for the difference in the value of money at different point of time? So, at different point of time, why there is difference in time value of money? Due to inflationary pressure in economy. If there is inflationary pressure in economy, there might lead to changes in the level of price level, increase in price level. So the value of money might change. So time value of money will also change. Preference for current consumption over future consumption by if the person prefers more current consumption than future consumption, then there will be difference in time value of money. Possibilities of investment opportunity before the investor to put their money in project with an assured return. If the inflationary pressure increases over time, the value of money or purchasing power of money will fall. Obviously, because if inflationary pressures increase over time, therefore price of goods increase. So normally the purchasing power of the people will fall down. So the value of money will fall. Similarly, if individuals prefer present consumption more than future consumption, then any postponement of present consumption would mean that the money which has not been used for present consumption should fetch sufficient return so that the future consumption can be increased sufficiently to compensate for present sacrifice. Further, money has a time value because an individual having some investable fund at present can invest it in some project that ensures fixed rate of return on the principal amount per time period. Now, how to calculate the future value of an amount? The future value of an amount can be estimated by considering either simple interest rate or a compound interest rate on the principal amount invested at present. Now, what is the principal amount? The amount which an investor has taken for loan, upon which the interest rate will be calculated at present. Similarly, the present value of future cash flow stream can also be estimated using a definite discount rate. Again, the risks involved in any investment project and the time for which the present consumption is being deferred would also determine the time value of money. Now, there is some sort of riskiness during an investment project. An investor has to incur some risks during an investment project, during conducting an investing project. If an investment project is more risky, the investor would naturally expect more return from that project. Any uncertainty is getting the return makes the project more risky. Now, if the investor thinks that he would invest in this project, if he would invest in some project, but the return from the return of gain, if the return from this project is more uncertainty, then there might be probability of gain or loss. So the project becomes more risky. Hence, to make an equivalence between the money available at present and money available in future from a risky venture, adequate returns are to be added with future stock of money. Further, an individual can be induced to defer his or her present consumption if the amount of money he lends at present can bring in returns sufficient to compensate for that sacrifice for a long time. So the video ends till then. Thank you.